Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the infamous jointer on my Shopsmith. This is where I cut my thumb off. Just basically stuck that guy in there. So the way that this happened is, I believe, I've thought a lot about this. So there is a guard that I was using. It goes here. Dropped into this hole right there. And that covers the blade, so I felt pretty good about that. I was checking to make sure that it wasn't going to hit the blade or anything, and it looked pretty good. But then, so I think you're not supposed to actually put your hand on this, as I found out the hard way. There's supposed to be a spring in here that sort of holds it against the board for you. Apparently that was missing. It also seems like it'd be a good idea if there was some way, a nut here or something to hold it in there so that it doesn't come out easily. Anyway, so that was the case. And let's see, so here's what the joiner does. You take a plank like this and you can cut this nice angle in it so you can later form a joint. I was using this to cut some planks that I was going to put together for a gate that I'm building. Alright, so when this went down, I had the guard at a 45-degree angle here so that I could cut a nice 45-degree edge on this. And you can see as this sort of comes along here, it was cutting the board. And what I believe happened is I had my hand on here like this, pushing on the guard to hold the board against the guide there, and then my other hand I was feeding the board through. And I believe what happened is as I was reaching back to grab the board to continue pushing it through, I reached back, the board slipped up, the guard went forward into this guide here, and what I see now is that if I am pushing towards the front of the guide here, we stay clear of the blade, but if I'm pushing more towards this bend here with my thumb, I can actually lift up and the blade will come into contact with the guard there. So you can actually see the pin starting to lift out. And so if I look on the guard, about where that contact would have happened, you see a nice fresh chip taken out of the guard there. And strangely enough, it looks like that's not the first time the guard has hit the blade there. Certainly the first time when I was using it. And so as the board moved and I pushed on this, the guard caught the blade. I believe it was thrown off the machine pretty much instantly, and my thumb went down straight into the jointer there. Before I didn't even see it happen, and sort of the reenactment view that I have is standing here. I was in the same spot here, same sort of day, and I remember lifting my hand up this with that nice tree in the background and going, "Aw, crap." Alright. So, yeah, I'm going to put this in the tripod here. So I have this prop to help out here, fake thumb, courtesy of my lovely sister. Alright. So here I am, pushing on here, pushing the board in. Reach back, board slips, guard hits the guide, and this is flipped off, and my thumb goes straight into there. Alright. So that is my theory. But now, I think what I'm going to try to do, still on the fence a little about this being a good idea, but I wanted to try and see if I could reproduce what had happened because I'm curious about it, and I don't know. I want to know. So I created this stick here with a thumb on the end where I can safely push on this while feeding the board, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if this guard can be thrown off again. That thumb didn't go in, but there you go. Turn this guy off. That was pretty scary. And you can see the guard flew clean into the neighbor's yard over here. It's pretty crazy. Oh, it took a much bigger chunk out of it that time. Okay, probably not a good idea, but it makes me feel better that I can reproduce that. Alright, so in thinking about this, what I came up with that I should have done differently is, of course, not put my hand on the guard. And I was only using maybe an inch of this blade, so I should have brought this guard in a little further, so I've only exposed, maybe an inch of that blade, and then maybe I wouldn't have as much of a space to stick my thumb into. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in that configuration now. I think I'll probably stop using the guard since doesn't have the spring. I'm just gonna keep my hands away from there, and I'm gonna clamp on some boards and other pieces onto this base here to help me stabilize the board while I'm cutting, so that I can keep my hands clear of the blade. All right, see how that goes.